Throughout my days as a classic Andy, Onyxia taught me many things. Like flex rating was never a new feature. The DBM can actually be more annoying than wiping. What? And at 7 PM is euphemism for 6:54 PM. Having always been one of WoW's most iconic bosses, I decided to give her the tribute that Blizzard should have done with Dragonflight. My journey started with grabbing the model of the Highland Drake. Fun little problem though. When you ask WoW.tools for the Highland Drake, it gives you the Highland Drake. All of it. This meant cleanup time, and one look at my living space would tell you how I probably felt about that one. Nevertheless, I pulled through, yielding me the base I would work from. And a cool bonus of using the original is this means that Blizzard could hypothetically throw mine right into the game, and you'd be able to use it. The Highland Drake already has customization options that vaguely resemble some of Onyxia's features, but they end up looking like Onyxia made in Spore. In other words, I had work to do. I started with the snout. The Highland Drake has a very blocky head, which wouldn't do the job for me here. I tweaked the horns to be more similarly shaped to Onyxia's and modeled the little one she's got sticking out of her nose, trying to not mess too much with the surrounding mesh. Did some more work in the area, after which I moved on to the fin on top of her head. Like I said, the Highland Drake comes with a head fin, but it looks less like it belongs to the Onyxia we all know and love, and more like it belongs to Onyxia and the Chinese WoW Netties Rage Cancelled. Hence, I bent it and made my own from scratch. I did the same for the ones on the side of the head, which were actually surprisingly tedious to make. Less tedious were the little horns she's got on her chin. They were very easy. And while I'm already on the topic of tedious, the rig of the Highland Drake contains more bones than a just chatting section on Twitch. So anytime a part of the model accidentally got rigged to the wrong bone, I would need to spend 20 minutes looking for the culprit. If a superior artist to me knows a shortcut for this, please, for the love of all that's good, leave a comment. Anyway, I continued on adjusting all the different parts of the model and creating whatever additions were needed, as well as adjusting the body proportions. My pet beef with the Highland Drake is that it's so damn front heavy, so I made it a bit more not front heavy. Before you drag tier fans get your hopes up, that does not mean rear heavy. I see your asses on Twitter. You're gonna have to model your own brood, mommy. And with that, we have our model finished. That ain't the end of it yet though, obviously. Beyond remastering the model, I had to make adjustments to the texture. I whipped open old trusty Photoshop and first looked for ways in which I could reuse existing textures, trying to be as time efficient as possible. Onyxia has this blocky pattern on her back. Luckily, the Highland Drake has that Warcraft corn on the cob tail thing as one of its customization options. I cut out a patch and made it fit. Problem is that Onyxia has them neatly in a row, rather than all random like this. So we took a different approach, cutting out individual blocks and rearranging them manually. For the fins, I took components from the wing texture and painted the details over top. For the fins on her throat, the texture of her actual throat sort of continues. I simply duplicated it to customize later. After getting a rough start for all my textures in place, I adjusted the colors of all the different components to match Onyxia's, and got ready to move on to the step where it would all come together. I exported what I had and chucked it into 3D Code, where I would hand paint all the rest of the details into it. One of the most iconic characteristics of Onyxia is her scales. For those of you who never played Classic, if you want to kill Navarian, you need to not get one-shot by Shadow Flame. The only way to not get one-shot by Shadow Flame is to equip your Onyxia scale cloak, which leatherworkers were able to craft from scales of Onyxia. Or if you're like me, forget your cloak in the bank and watch your guild carry you as you lay dead bitching about your parses. That was the Classic re-release though. During Classic, my memories of Onyxia are a whole different story. Namely, confusion. Number 1, I was 8 years old and didn't speak English, and I couldn't figure out why I was unable to go into the cave to go and see the cool dragon. Number 2, this means bread in my native language. It was quite interesting, playing WoW before knowing the language that the game is in. I fondly remember the days of Zulgerup, the Plaagwelans, Rochwes, Magus. I'll change the topic before the North Americans start complaining about inclusivity again. I'm very sorry. Please don't leave NATO. Jokes aside though, Onyxia played a huge part in creating that sense of wonder WoW brought to me as a kid. I remember watching 240p videos of Onyxia raids on my 2004 microwave monitor, having no idea what was happening, having no idea what raiding even was, but loving every second of it. The very prospect of so many people coming together to kill one dragon excited me so much that I would show it to everyone unlucky enough to be near me in a computer, forcing them to politely tell me it's cool while having not a fucking clue what they were looking at. Yeah, I was that kid. 2/3 of my life later, the sense of excitement for MMOs and shared open worlds never left me, nor has my love for WoW, despite the fact that I haven't cared much about the current game for many years at this point. If only they didn't cancel Chinese WoW. If you like my content and would like to support me, I recently opened up a Patreon for those who would would like to go the extra mile. I'm still figuring out how best to approach this kind of stuff, so there's more to come, but it's there for those who want to help me out. Also, you'll get your name in my videos. And also, it's a place where you can download everything I've done so far for free. You don't have to give me anything. If you do something cool with it, be sure to show me on Twitter. Alright? That's the only cost. And you have to follow me on Twitter. And if Patreon is not for you, just dropping a like, a comment, and subscribing if you haven't, it's already gonna do more than enough to earn my gratitude. But enough of that. Prepare for what I am about to shove into your brain hole. My friends. My kin. I present to you. Whatever. You get it. Patreon.